First of all, I think, speaking to all of you, I think that Russia is certainly not an ally of the United States. They're not a reliable partner with the United States, and for us to be reliant upon them for our rocket engines is, I just think it's unwise, and I think we need to move forward with finding a domestic supplier for that. General Shelton, the Air Force has proposed to purchase one GPS satellite this year instead of two, as originally planned. Over the program, how much money would be saved if we purchased in a more economic manner as was originally planned, two satellites this year?
Sir, I'm going to have to take that one for the record. I can't tell you that right off the top of my head. I know that, again, one of those budget-driven decisions is maybe not the most economic way to do it, but given the money we had available to us, this was the most efficient way to get it done, with a constrained top line.
Sure. Okay. Mr. Klinger, did the cost assessment and program evaluation review this and offer an opinion on the most economical way to buy those satellites?
I think the way I'd answer your question, sir, is that the CAPE did an analysis when we incurred, as you're probably familiar, a Nunn-McCurdy breach with respect to the EELV program when we came out of sustainment. During that time, CAPE did conduct another independent cost estimate. We did vet both within the Air Force itself as well as in cooperation with the Office of the Secretary of Defense very closely the array of choices we had prior to coming to resolution of the contract that you're now familiar with regard to the 36 core block buy. So that was thoroughly vetted both within the Air Force and throughout the department.
Okay. General Shelton, I think we have one launch provider that is certified to carry the entire national security manifest. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, that's true.
Okay. Do any potential new entrants currently possess the necessary facilities required to process and launch the full manifest?
Not yet, sir. SpaceX is obviously the Falcon 9 version 1.1
okay.
can go up to a certain level. They've got plans to develop a heavy vehicle, but that is not that far along yet.
Okay. Would you agree that the new entrants be certified to support the full manifest before being allowed to bid?
No, sir, not necessarily. We would allow them to bid and will allow them to bid without that full suite of capability, the full lift capability for all of our payloads. So we're happy to compete one satellite at a time.
Okay. Will new entrants be required to comply with the same auditing, oversight, and accounting rules that are currently applied to ULA?
I believe that's true, but that's an acquisition question that I would ask Mr. Klinger if he wouldn't mind commenting on that.
I think the terms of the specific contract for a new entrant, since that would be awarded competitively, the Air Force would have to decide that. But certainly from a mission assurance perspective, there's no question in my mind that the Air Force will insist, as would the National Reconnaissance Office, I believe Ms. Sapp would agree, on the same level of mission assurance requirements associated with what we utilize now for the EELV systems that we currently have.
Okay. General Shelton, Mr. Klinger, Ms. Knapp, what steps has Department of Defense taken to improve the management of requirements in order to reduce the program risk?
Are you talking about requirements just across the board?
Right.
Yes, sir. We are very judicious about our requirements to make sure that, one, we aren't gold plating things, but also that we don't allow the requirements to creep up on us in the midst of the procurement. That's what really drives a lot of cost and technical risk as well. So we're very disciplined about how we maintain a hold on the requirements.
Sir, I think both within OSD and across the services, we have a number of initiatives going on to improve our ability to respond and improve our acquisition system. But one example that I would highlight, under my boss, Frank Kendall, the Undersecretary for Acquisition Technology and Logistics, one of the things that he is working hard on with the services, and particularly the Joint Staff, is to pull the early phases of the acquisition of any system closer to the requirements development process, thereby enabling an iterative process of exchange of information between the users who ultimately define the operational requirements for a given system and the acquirers who have to then make that into a system implementation. The bottom line goal of this is to ensure that we have a clear picture of what we're paying for in terms of performance and where the breakpoints are, so that we're not paying 20 or 30% for the last 2 or 3% of performance of a given system. That's a work in progress.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.